knowledge tight. Thorough black talk in the air, changing minds, changing flair. From Brother Tad to Sister Kate, warriors got things to say. Sister Marcia brings the heat, Brother Blacksmith keeps the beat. Revolutionary waves they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral line. Thursday nights, the world will see Black Power Media on the spree. Facebook, YouTube, all aligned, breaking free from every bind. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral line. Ancestral line.
Standing strong on the bridge tonight. We've got dreams and we got fight. Voices loud in the city's light. Change is coming into sight. History told by scars and pain. Echoes deep in every name. Legal truths we must reclaim. Through the storm and through the rain. Thorough black talk of you. With Brother Tad, Sister K, Sister Marcia, Brother Blacksmith. Cut the check or no vote, yeah. Justice calls from open skies. Tis the fall, ain't no disguise. Marching forward, no surprise. Strengthen hearts, you can't downsize. Every voice a sweet refrain. In this fight we share the strain. Through the joy and through the pain, bound together like a chain. Thorough black talk of you. With Brother Tad, Sister K, Sister Marcia, Brother Blacksmith. Cut the check or no vote, yeah.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk with your Sister K Fighter, Brother Tad, Sister Marcia, and Brother Blacksmith will be joining us shortly. Man, 20 years gone by already. My mother used to say, time waits for no one. Time waits for no one. But we got to deal with it. We got to deal with it. Hurricane Katrina. We're going to discuss that, the aftermath. Also, Ryan Coogler's new docufilm on Hulu. We're going to discuss that as well. And, you know, we like to dig in the crates. We like to dig in the crates. You know, the anti-FBA contingency continues. But we keep pushing ahead. And so we went and dug in the crates and we got some commentary from some of our great esteemed elders and scholars. Who are we going to show tonight? also some videos and some footage. And history is forever changing. Every day, history is being made. Every day, more and more information is being released or uncovered, I should say. And as my brother Tad said, you have to know how to pivot when information is before you. And well, I'm going to get into all of that. Y'all ready behind the scenes? Welcome to the Brooklyn Bridge, the OG Wisdom Podcast. Brother Tad, what's happening?
Hey. All right, you can hear me clearly?
I got you loud and clear, brother, loud and clear. Right. And without further ado, he said he gonna behave. But he always tell us that. And he can't help it. It's the Bronx nature. But we're gonna see how he rocks tonight. Welcome to the stage, to the Brooklyn Bridge, my brother Anunnaki himself from the BX, Brother Blacksmith. What's happening?
Peace, Brother Black.
You're too kind. Peace to the panel. Peace to the family. Peace to those watching now. Peace to those watching later. Holla back, Mrs. Keisha.
Yes, indeed. While my sister Marcia get ready. But, before we get into it and we give our shout outs, I want to give you some reminders that this Saturday in Brooklyn, the Black FBA Reparations Reunion, make sure you be there in person or on Zoom. Follow Thorough Black Talk Facebook page and Instagram page for the details for the Zoom if you can't make it in person. But I'm telling you, you're going to want to be there. You're going to want to be here. You know why? When I saw the address that this event was being held, and this is courtesy of the U.S. Freedmen's Project, our brother Divine, Sister Brooke will be in the house too. But when I saw this, Brother Tad, 601 Underdog Avenue, the same avenue where foundational Black American young sister was brutally assaulted by a transvestite and his mama, 2 immigrants. The ancestors is calling you to the block. So we hope to see you Saturday, 2 p.m. If not, check it out on the Zoom, and we'll have the information posted on our social media platforms. Also, don't forget, next Sunday, 12 p.m., Genealogy 101. It's very, very important. I'm not just saying this for myself, but very, very important that you know your lineage. Know where your people come from. Understand the story of your ancestors, because it's not just about knowing who they are and knowing your lineage, but knowing the life that they led. What did they do for a living? How did they progress in life? So much can be revealed in genealogy research. So I hope to see you all next Sunday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Because right after we get off of that, we're going to shoot over to the OG Wisdom Podcast.
Yeah.
So you make sure you on time. Sister Keisha like to start her classes on time. I don't like lateness because we all busy folks. And I have so much information to share with you all and also give you tools to help you continue your further research. All right. So we hope to see you also Saturday. I told y'all. Twitch meet and greet. Shout out to the Twitch watchers, all the DJs that host me and show me love. I appreciate y'all. We're going to be sitting rocking with DJ Sir Scratch and the FNC team. And if you know about the FNC team, you're going to want to be in the house. So meet all the DJs from Twitch, all the gamers, all the streamers right here in Brooklyn, Saturday, September 6th, 2 to 8 p.m., right? Avenue N at the pier. We're going to be chilling. on the water. Make sure you bring your own chairs, bring your own drinks. Food will be sold. We got some, listen, DJ Shirt Scratch got some heavy hitter vendors, food vendors. So you want to be there. Make sure you bring cash because they only accepting cash. I'm telling y'all right now. The party is free to get in. It's free to get in. Y'all hear me? Free to get in. All you got to do is tell them you know K Fighter and DJ Sir Scratch. And you in there. 2 to 6. I hope to see y'all. We're going to rock out and party. So anyway, looking forward to all of that. Now,
you know what I love about that, Sister Keisha, real quick?
Go ahead, brother.
Is that the outer boroughs is now having events that's, legit events, not, something basically an extended block party. Like they're having real events in the outer boroughs, like on a regular basis now, as opposed to when we grew up, almost everything was in Manhattan. So I just wanted to say that.
I guess that's for the people in the Bronx.
That's for the Bronx.
Nah.
Brooklyn was always lit.
Brooklyn was always popping.
What are you talking about, racist?
Hey, in the 80s and the early 90s, Brooklyn clubs was known for getting shot up, from Love People all the way down to the place that used to be right by the car wash on Atlantic Avenue. And I don't remember I believe Myrtle. Y'all hood. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
You said Atlantic and Myrtle. Yeah, stay in the Bronx, bro. He said Atlantic and Myrtle didn't run into each other, bro.
Right before you get to the bridge. I forgot the name of the club. It was popping in the 80s.
Okay.
The Tad was still inside at that time. He don't remember.
The garage? You talking about the garage?
No, that's in Manhattan. I'm talking in Brooklyn.
The warehouse?
No, that was on Flushing Avenue. I've been there before.
So what you talking about?
I don't remember.
He said Atlantic and Myrtle. That was it.
It was like the Brooklyn version of Bentley's.
There's no such thing as Atlantic and Myrtle. I'm just saying.
Word.
So I'm just trying to help you out.
Flatbush and Myrtle. I meant Flatbush and Myrtle. You're right. I've been going too long. and remember, I'm from Mermaid and Linden Boulevard.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Speaking of that,
Black is crazy. He said Mermaid and Linden. But sis, real quick, I was trying to pull it up, but the camera ain't gonna capture the other joint.
Oh, okay.
Sis, screenshots of, as we talk about genealogy, this is my great grand. So this is the census of my great
do a
grand.
print screen and send it to me. Do a print screen, send it to me, or push it through the screen, or push it through. Do a print screen, Tad.
Print screen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just send it to your phone.
Hey, Sister Keisha, you have to out of class like you did me.
I'm old school.
Black, yeah.
Yeah, I'm old school.
I thought Doggy Diamonds had it held down, but I guess not. He needs open classes.
Yeah. I do. Look, I'm just trying to get the light to stay on. What that is, as you was talking about the genealogy, I was looking at from when I was in the Schaumburg. It's my great grandparents' household, and this my grandmother and her siblings on the census in the house. And of course, I got the information before that. When everybody was living in North Carolina. Yep, and here everybody was Negro, but of course my great grandmother was older. I'm trying to find her initial birth certificate.
I just sent it to, so we can pull it up in a few minutes once we get into that, because it's very, very important. And I'm glad that as your family take this seriously, because a lot of data, Brother Tad, actually is being stifled out.
Yeah, and so, I noticed that when I went there. Information that I had years before, I couldn't get in the Schaumburg. They were like, I gotta go to Department of Records and stuff and prove that my mother is my mother. Like I couldn't even see my mother's birth certificate anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, so to your point, they are definitely digitally stifling people. But nevertheless, put in the work. You'll find it.
Yes, indeed. And we're gonna show that in a minute because I already got it queued up. Sister Marcia, are you ready? She said, yes, honey. Africans on the rise, very own Sister Marcia up on the Brooklyn Bridge.
Is Brooklyn in the house?
Without a
Yeah.
I got a question.
Happy Black
Sorry,
Happy Blacktastic Thursday to everyone. The heat wave has cracked and it's back to normal weather. The vegetables are vegetabling, and it's good to see my Brooklyn Bridge third Black family today.
Yes.
Marcia, I was telling them, they should come and chill out with us on the 6th because we're going to be heavy. The Twitch meet and greet gonna be heavy. The music, I'm telling you.
I got my dancing shoes already.
She's ready. She's ready. You know what I mean? We was talking behind the scenes a little early. Sister Marcia getting ready now. But speaking of that, because I think we should acknowledge the gift of the FBA DJs. I mean, they have really you got to give credit to DJs because they are the architects of maintaining music, no matter where you're from. If you listen, all my Caribbean massive, listen, the DJs are the architects of maintaining that culture
and community.
Yes. I mean, we had our family day on my mother's side last Saturday, and DJ pulled up in the park, whole set going. We took collections around the park so he could play all night, but the music was hitting. Music that your children can run around and laugh and dance and play to. Music that grandma and grandpa is comfortable with, that they can actually understand and rock out with. And so kudos to the DJs. I gotta show love. Gotta show love. But I wanted to ask y'all a question.
Hey, Sister Keisha, real quick, is DJ Lance still the man in Brooklyn right now?
He passed away, sir.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
Long time.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the pioneers. He definitely passed away a few years ago. But anyway, since we are from Brooklyn, because I'm a researcher. I want to see if my Brooklynites know this particular neighborhood. The Hole has 5 streets. Only comprises of 5 streets. Don't start Googling, Sister Marcy. I'm watching it. There's a neighborhood in Brooklyn called The Hole. And I guarantee you the majority of Brooklynites don't even know where this neighborhood is at. What you say, Tad? I can't hear you, brother.
You're on mute, bro.
I said I don't know where the hole is.
You know where the hole at, Marcia? Marcia should know where the hole at.
Oh,
you're not talking
in East New York. No?
Go ahead, Brother Black.
It wasn't there like like the best Brooklyn basketball court. Don't they call that the Hole? One of the basketball courts. I don't know where it is, but I heard of it.
They call several basketball courts the Hole,
okay.
But the whole neighborhood is only 5 blocks. And the reason why I know most people don't know this neighborhood is because it is separate and apart from itself. They literally have to, and I talked about this on the platform before, they literally have to do their own sanitation. They are always flooded. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. There's always water on the ground back there.
I think I know where it is. I think I know where it is. Is it in Astoria, Queens?
Nope.
Brooklyn.
They don't listen.
Brooklyn.
Like,
wrong
he was on his best behavior last week.
No, he wasn't. Let's be real.
No, he was. He was
no,
well behaved.
He had to get checked. But
he said in Astoria, Queens. It's a neighborhood in Brooklyn. Astoria, Queens.
But wait a minute. This is not in East New York on the back end side. back behind Linden?
It's literally on the borderline of Queens and Brooklyn. Way behind East New York. You know where the first street is?
TSS used to be.
Say that again?
TSS. Well, the movie theater.
No. It's actually back on the other side.
On the other side.
Because there is nothing back there, nor have there ever been anything back there.
So
because of the conditions in which the community has to maintain itself, right? No plow trucks ever go back. They literally have to maintain this. It's only 5 blocks. It starts actually behind Linden Plaza, right? The first street is Emerald, right? There's Sapphire, there is Jewel. These are the names of the streets, but nobody goes back there. Nobody. I just wanted to say that because, Brooklyn is so vast. And even though it seems together, it's very segregated, right? And nobody, even though the majority of the people in the whole is black, right? I think it's like 8 or 9 homes back there. They all black. Nobody knows who the hell they are. What's over there? Nobody even drives past there. You can't even drive past there. The only reason why I know about the hole is because I ride bikes. You cannot drive in the hole. Your car will be stuck, period. So I'm going to take some pictures. Actually, I passed it on my way home. So I'm going to take some pictures. It doesn't matter if it's a straight 30 days of no rain, it's going to be water back there on the ground because they literally are in the swamp. So when you get a chance, you can go on YouTube or Google or whatever, find out about the hole. You see, I'm telling the truth. But anyway, let's get to the chat. What's happening, Sister Brooke? What it is, Sister Farnessa. Peace and reparations to you. K Rush 409, the fam is in the building. What's happening, Uncle Jess? You already know. Happy belated birthday to Uncle Jess, too. Let me put that out there. Happy belated birthday to the
belated birthday, Uncle Jess.
Yeah.
Rocking with us since day one.
Yes, he was.
Back when we was on Blog Talk.
Come on.
That's about 10 years ago, too.
Yep. People don't know how long we've been rocking, Ty. They don't know. Whatever. We gonna get into it. Shout out to BK Mackey History Club, Brother Ray.
Big Brother Ray.
In about a month, the end of September, I believe, we got Brother Siraj coming in from the UK.
Yes.
And he's gonna be down at the BK William Mackey History Club. Y'all want to be there?
Yeah.
For our UK brother coming in
all the way from across the pond.
Yes, he is. Salute to Brother Siraj. Salute. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Sister Aruba 927. And what's happening? Brother Rich Nice, you ready for that class, brother? He ready for the class. He ready to get it in. Sister Joyce. Brother Monty, Suffolk County, what's happening? We got our Be More family on the check-in. Sister Marie, I told you I'm be coming down that way because I'm doing some research on my family. Actually, I got a cousin I need to call tomorrow. So you just reminded me that. Dang, I gotta make that call tomorrow. So let's get into it, family. Let's really get into it. But before we do, this is what Brother Tad was sharing with us. His family census record. You said this is your grandmother's census?
Yeah, my great-grandparents. See, the top is Sidney Lewis, husband. Under it is Anna Lewis, wife. John Henry, son. Vernon, son. Elmo, son. Celia, that's my grandmother. Daughter. Raymond, son. And that's it. That was living in the house at the time that this census was done. That's why Dog's last name is Lewis. That's the family's last name. I have my grandmother's married name. Dog has my grandmother's last name before she got married, and she married a Cromwell. That's how I became a Cromwell. And I didn't take my father's last name, Bookman, because my parents weren't married. So yeah, it takes tons of people to make us. But this is a census, and as you see at the end, North Carolina. Remember, we were talking about the book Black Indians, and they were saying all the black Indians that lived in Roanoke, North Carolina. This is North Carolina. And where it says Virginia, because I think I said it before, my great grandmother, the yellow line is my great grandmother. She was born in Halifax County, Virginia, because Lewis is her married name. You know, and of course, we know who her grandmother is. So, you know, again, we've been here for centuries. We've been here before Africa got their independence, before the countries even existed. Just tribes and territories. So it's funny because in these YouTube streets, I see Caribbean and continental Africans say black people don't know where they come from. But meanwhile, we can go back centuries. You know, we go back
before, like you said, before their homeland even had a name.
Exactly.
So the insults must stop on that we don't know who we are. We're very clear on who we are. We are very clear on who we are. And again, you know, as you saw, you know, it's very easy to find out your information.
That's just one document out of about 40 something. I was going in, and like I said, I was looking for the documents that I've seen previously with the birth certificates. See, right now, I just got access to the census. They done switched everything around after COVID. And again, like you said, you know, because we're delineating, don't underestimate the powers that be, y'all. They know when we're moving, and they listen to the groundswell. They knew about this movement before most black folks knew about the movement. Because as we showed in the video, me teaching the children who their family is, Sister Keisha and myself always encourage people, follow your own bloodline. Because since I was in the movement, I always seen people honor other ancestors, and then after they call all the famous ancestors, then your ancestors get an honorable mention. I'm like, yo, I didn't know Nat Turner. No disrespect. I didn't know Harriet Tubman. No disrespect. But I knew Bernice Bookman. I knew Anna Lewis. I knew Helen Hooker. You know, I knew William Bookman. I knew my ancestors, the people that made it possible for me to be alive and be here.
Come on.
I always had an issue with that subconsciously. You know, why do we prioritize people outside of our circle of giving a damn? You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
This is no knock on those ancestors that did phenomenal things. But if we're going to honor ancestors, I think it's only right that I honor mine first. And especially now that my mother's an ancestor, come on, she made it possible.
That's right.
You could have easily been to the clinic.
Don't let
my father know.
Don't let the spirit of Peaches come and smack you, boy.
You know,
you better know what time it is. You know, he may be a grown man, but he always is mama's baby.
That's right.
So that's just a fact.
And this is
the right, Sister Marcia.
And sis, this is the thing I always tell people every time we have these conversations. We get back to our scheduled programming, because people ask, why did we pivot? It's like, it's important because I'm not going to play backseat to my own lineage and heritage. Just as everybody can honor theirs, we've been in this movement long enough. We've done enough work. And people don't realize, just like we shifted from Negro to color to Black to African American, we shifting. We shifting right now. And a lot of people are afraid of change, even though there's new information. And we want to tell people, man, don't be afraid to be who you are, man. Even if you're not foundational Black American, that don't make you less Black, don't make you less important. Just take pride in your family and your bloodline.
That's right.
Pride in ours. And
if Sister Marcia going negate her own mama,
that's
and
right,
her own daddy. Her daddy was doing her hair as a grown woman. He was doing her hair.
Today's his birthday. Shout out to Fritz Wah.
Rest in power, Baba.
On the day of Wakaima, my daddy was dropped on this earth.
That's right. So she'll be a damn fool.
But look how the ancestors work.
Her daddy, though.
Look how the ancestors work to even bring his spirit here on his birthday without us even knowing. And that's the power of authenticity. When you are who you are, you don't have to fake. The ancestors will come through and will speak. Because we could have been talking about anything right now, but we're gonna pay homage to Sister Marcia's father. You know what I mean? On his
That's
physical.
right.
We're gonna pay homage to somebody else. His birthday is exactly a week from today, and that's Dr. Sukiyana.
What is wrong with this guy?
That's that Bronx water he been drinking.
Oh, you got legionnaires or something? Sorry for all the
Tell her
folks
that
that
Bronx-
are traveling with legionnaires, but I'm just saying.
I got caught in that rain.
You could have held that. You could have held that till next week.
He going to the cookout / rally.
On Atlantic and Myrtle. But
Did
anyway,
you drop your donations? Donations. He's waiting for your donation.
40 G's. He say he need 40 G's. Black.
Jeez, brother Black.
You don't say it 3 times, it ain't effective.
But getting back to what we were discussing, but like Tad said, you know, I wasn't gonna mention Marcia father today. You know what I mean? So he's right in line. Thank you. He right in line. Know your lineage. Never negate your own lineage for no goddamn body, especially for a diaspora who ain't giving it to you. Out of here. You crazy? But anyway, Sister Aruba, it's on Patagon. Is that what you call it? Patagon and Avenue N in Brooklyn. Patagon Avenue N in Brooklyn. I'll send it to you in Messenger. How about that? I'll send it to you on Messenger. And if you want to rock out with us, just hit me back and let me know so I know that you're coming. All right? All right, cool. So, like I said, you know, he don't listen. He don't listen. He don't listen, sis. He's a bad hombre. This is what I'm talking about. It's that Bronx thing. You know, the Bronx is Baba Louie heaven. And so when you enter that Baba Louie heaven, you start taking on characteristics of the Baba Louie. He can't help himself. So we
The
give him
Bronx is the black dot of the world.
Oh my God. Mm-mm-mm. Lord have mercy.
As we continue, I think we might mute your mic.
Yeah, we're gonna put Black on timeout. Sit him in the corner.
We don't want timeout because we gotta get busy. We gotta get
You know
busy.
what? He's trying to make up for last week.
I think that's what it is. He said he only gonna behave once a year.
Oh man, hold on. Pause, hard pause. On the break, shout out to our sister Kathy Dean. Now,
Yes, tell them who Kathy Dean is. Welcome to the show, sis.
yes, this sister, Vietnam vet, military vet, come from a military family. This sister pulls up at every reparations commission meeting, ready to go. You hear me? Our esteemed elder right here, Sister Kathy Dean. Welcome to Thorough Black Talk. World View. Brother,
Got our brother
Divine
Divine
on
in
the
the
check
house.
in. Stop playing. We got the family in here. So I wanted to start out by talking about Hurricane Katrina. I don't know if you all have seen Ryan Coogler's recent documentary, Hurricane Katrina, on Hulu. I would suggest that you check it out if you can. It is, I believe, 4 parts. Five parts. It is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. When I tell you the brother put his foot in this series, he put his foot in this series. A lot of people forget. And, you know, I have to say something. Sister Brooks says, I don't know how you can run off this history like this. And I told her it's because I never forget. Nor do I forgive. See, it's just in the Rolodex. So that way, that's why I tell y'all, I always use history in every argument. That's why I win. Even if I get into an argument with my husband, I will bring up history. He said, I can't win. He go like this. He just go like this. You know, he himself said, I didn't say it. He said it. I'm the smartest woman he ever met in his life. So anyway, He ain't got no wins. I'm just saying, history can always lead you right. Trust me when I tell you. And so oftentimes we forget about how they were treated during that time.
The lies that were told.
Yes, many lies. First, the first thing that they did was lie to the people about, the conditions. As more news information came in, people realized how serious it was. And they knew that in the 7th, 8th, and 9th ward, that it was a demographic that could not financially or economically move themselves out of that area at that quick of a time. And so some people decided to ride it out. One aspect of Hurricane Katrina is Mississippi. People talk about New Orleans, but never South Mississippi. And that's a state nobody ever likes to talk about. But I do. Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, yeah, I like it. I think that all immigrants who come to this country should be put right in the Delta of Mississippi. If you can survive the Delta, then you can come out to the rest of the states. If you can't, you go right back home. Because there is no way in Mississippi that you're going to be running around waving your old national flag. They will shoot it and you. They're not playing that down there. And see, you get away with a lot of things in these urban cities. And that's why I'm saying when you came across these shores, it was us who welcomed you. Because in other places in this country, they would unalive you a long time ago.
Early.
The minute you came out wearing your national garb, they not playing with you. And so you're comfortable in your speech. That's why y'all come to these urban cities, these urban enclaves. You don't go to Alabama. You don't go to Mississippi because you know better. So I'm telling you, when people say, Tad, well, they didn't know when they got here. That's a goddamn lie. You know enough not to go to Mississippi.
Yeah, right.
So don't play that game with me. See, listen, that's why my child never got away with nothing, because you can't run that game on me. It don't work. It don't work. But let's get into it, and then we're going to discuss the film, and then I'm going to show comparison of what the migrants and immigrants, the set-asides for them, that the victims, foundational Black Americans, did not receive. So let's get into it. In 2005 is when it took place, in August. I think it was the 23rd to be exact. This hurricane devastated parts of New Orleans. Now, prior to the hurricane, I don't know if you all know, but there was some city planning afoot that they wanted to revitalize that area of New Orleans, because remember now, the French Quarter didn't get what 7th, 8th, and 9th wards got, right? Algiers didn't get, St. Bernard Parish, they got some, but not to the extent of the 7th, 8th, and 9th wards. Now, I want you to think back to when that all took place. How people were shuttled into the Superdome, Brother Tad. People were shuttled into the convention center, and people were shuttled or directed onto the interstate. Left for days. No water, no food, and
no air conditioner,
no AC. It was 100 degrees and better every day.
Yeah.
I went to Louisiana when the incident happened with the young boys in the school, and there was a noose hung on a tree. I took a road trip with Brother James.
Yeah, that was about 2006. Gina 6.
Yeah, Gina 6.
Yes.
Yep.
I went down with Brother James Patnard, peace be upon him. We took a road trip down there. And I ain't going to tell you what he told Al Sharpton. That's a different story for another time, but he got pulled up on it. And he ain't say nothing. For real. But anyway, let's continue. So, When America left New Orleans behind, 80% of the residents didn't evacuate. Over 100,000 were displaced. In fact, two students from the Sankofa International Academy, where my daughter attended, two of the students were evacuees from New Orleans. Their father is a well-known hip-hop artist. And I'll tell y'all who that is behind the scenes, if you want to know. But anyway, his children were evacuees from that. And they attended South Sankofa School. And I would sit with their mother and converse with her about, some of the things that she witnessed. And she talked about the bodies of children, of old people, of just people in general who were floating in the water, and that they had to walk through. That the governor, that hoe-ass mayor, and Michael Brown of FEMA left those people in squalor and disgust. And I will never forget that. I remember when mainstream media outlets were referring to them as refugees in their own land. I remember when they were telling stories about how people from other parishes would not let them cross certain bridges, how they were coerced to come out of their homes only to be shot by white aggressionists, that the image of teenagers, and I have to give, please watch the documentary Hurricane Katrina, the aftermath. I'm telling you, these young people, a lot of people like to throw dirt on young folks, and they took it upon themselves to go into these stores and get food and medicine for people you had babies who were starving. And those teenagers took it upon themselves to help their elders in their community. And they did that courageously. But the media outlets said they were looters, that they were criminals. And they put this atmosphere throughout the country. Even Curious George Bush said the same thing. He looked just like Curious George the monkey. And that's what I always call him, Curious George. So when I say that, y'all know who I'm talking about. He himself was saying he was sending the National Guards and military down there to deal with criminality. Listen, you have police officers who left their families, Black police officers who had to take command to stop some of the stuff that was going on, to stop the rhetoric, if you will, that was going on. And so a lot of confusion and neglect took place. And we have to remember what happened with our brothers and sisters during Hurricane Katrina. Now, so many families were separated, moved to different states, mom and daddy in this state, the kids was taken over here, and still people were looking for their loved ones. Still. Now, compare and contrast with the migrants who came illegally, criminals now, criminals who breached the shores of this nation. They are criminals, given everything. Said that we got to keep families together. They didn't wait on an interstate for 3, 4, 5, 6 days. It didn't happen like that for migrants. That's wrong. Anybody, listen, if you're still voting after 2005, you need to have your head examined. Because criminals get a better, and that's why I tell you, when people say, oh, I just came to this country with 50 cents in my pocket and I built it myself. You're a goddamn liar. You are a liar. These people had to start from scratch. Not only did their state and city neglect them, but those people who had their homes insured, places like companies like Allstate now, left them for dry, for dead, taking away their property. An ethnic cleansing took place. That's what happened. Look up the definition of an ethnic cleansing. And you tell me that don't fit the victims of Hurricane Katrina. So now, let's compare and contrast with migrants and immigrants. The U.S. has many housing, employment, and government-funded programs that are designed specifically for immigrants, refugees, and certain non-citizens, even though citizens may not always qualify for the same benefits. Housing programs, refugee resettlement housing assistance. They set up whole entities to take care of migrants and legal immigrants. Local and state immigrant housing grants. Some states like New York, California, and Illinois, funded immigrant-only rental assistance and transitional housing for asylum seekers and refugee families. You have the churches. The Catholic Church, that wicked bastard. We'll get into that. Jobs and career programs. Matching grant programs. Cash giveaways. I saw a video where a young lady from, I think, Haiti, she was given $30,000 and an apartment and whining, saying she need more. She ran out of money. What did the people of New Orleans in South Mississippi get? Tad ain't get no free bread, and I ain't get no free bread either. Neither did my parents. Neither did mine. So, state and city immigrant workforce initiatives, right? In New York City, you got Workforce One for immigrants. California's training panel for immigrants. Government cash and social service programs for immigrants. You got Refugee Cash Assistance, Refugee Medical Assistance, up to 12 months of cash. Let me say that again. Up to 12 months of cash and health care eligible for new arrivals. The Cuban Haitian Entrant Program, or CHEP. Special benefits for those from Cuba or Haiti, including housing, food, and employment help. That's what the lady was talking about. They gave her $30,000 in an apartment. That's what she said. I got the video. I'm going to try to pull it up. Full foster care, education, living expenses for immigrant minors without parents. Immigrant minors without parents. Yeah, okay. Ask our children who are living in group homes right now, who giving them cash. State funded safety net programs. Some states extended benefits like food assistance, health care, and housing only to immigrants, even if they were ineligible for federal aid. This is what your local politicians are doing. This is what they are fighting for and doing. This is what they produce for others. Example, state, local immigrant-only programs in Illinois. The Welcome Center program, housing, job placement, and health care for immigrants. New York City Asylum Seeker Shelter System, hotel placements and stipends. California Immigrant Resilience Fund, cash assistance to undocumented immigrants. Exclusively for immigrants. These programs are legally limited to immigrants, refugees, and specific visa holders. More cash.
Are excluded.
Come on.
Citizens are excluded.
And you're voting? And you're, listen. I just compile all of these government programs into one to minimize it so we can get through the show. But when you look at the details, it is profound. It is profound. Free college education. Nobody gave my kid a free college education. I had to pay for it out of my pocket. Mixed programs for immigrant citizens. And listen, some workforce training, housing, ESL. We don't need English as a second language around here. So that ain't for us. That ain't got nothing to do with us. Job centers. There is a case. Y'all can look it up. In Chicago, where an employment agency that was run by the Baba Louis and Black people sued them because they refused to find jobs for them because they was Black Americans. You can look it up. Google it for yourself. Okay? That was a recent case. State and local exclusives. Some states give state-funded benefits to immigrants even when citizens can't get the same help, especially undocumented immigrants, because the funding comes from state budgets and not federal rules. And so when you say, how are these people getting all this money? It's your local government. Hakeem Jeffries, Yvette Clark, Espelot, Mathau, Jamani Williams, all of these suckers. Brandon in Chicago, Brandon in Baltimore. The two mayors, It's your local government. People in blackface, these coons and these tethers. Doing you in. That's why I say we continue to vote for our own oppression. California Immigrant Resilience Funds, cash for undocumented immigrants. So as they progress, 20 years from now, they're going to be telling your kids and your grandkids, we pulled ourselves up by our own bootstraps. F out of here. F out of here. You a liar. You a liar. I don't know why I made that print so small, but we'll make it large. Hold on. I don't know why I did that. But anyway, let's move on. Federal programs, exclusives, reception and placement, healthcare, English class, job referrals. And I kept saying, me and Brother Ray had a conversation. How are all these delivery workers getting all these e-bikes and scooters and mopeds? Because the city paid for it with your tax dollars. But they wouldn't help the victims of Hurricane Katrina, though. They didn't do that, though. They didn't send no cash payments to them. Even though they stole their land, stole their property, told them to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. So when you come to this country, don't say you didn't get a leg up. You a goddamn liar. Some people, listen, hold on. I'm going to get to it. I got the numbers. Who get public assistance and who don't? I'm going to show y'all the numbers in a minute. Okay? Medical assistance, healthcare, schools, nutrition programs. Y'all going to stop playing over here. Y'all going to stop playing. Stop letting these people tell y'all foolishness. All done from local government. And I could go on. I could go on with this, family. But they won't tell you all that. They'll lie and tell you something else. And you'll get out there and vote for them. Hold on. Let me show y'all something here. Sorry about that. Percentage of households using public assistance in the U.S. This is last year's numbers. They don't got no numbers for this year yet. Naturalized citizens, 50%. That means all of you newcomers, 50% getting some sort of public assistance, some sort. Non-citizens, 53%. Native-born citizens, 38%. So when you hear these commentators on these podcasts and things say, oh, well, y'all is all on welfare. Nope, it's you, mother effer. And believe it or not, the numbers increase when, excuse me, the 2000, I think it was 8 housing crisis happened. Remember all of that? Because a lot of immigrants got caught in those adjustable rate mortgages and lost everything. I see now more living in the projects across the street than ever before. But we're the face of welfare. We're the face of public assistance. We're the face of government handout. That is a goddamn lie. You all can research it for yourself if you don't believe me. But my numbers is right and exact. So I'm telling you from now on, never let those folks tell you you're the face of public assistance. You're the face of handouts. No, ma'am, and no, sir. No, ma'am, and no, sir. Now, again, going back to Hurricane Katrina, for those of you who saw this docuseries, they talked about how when some of the folks came back, they try to take their property from them. Remember when they had people put X's and stuff on their houses because they thought they were moldy or condemned? It doesn't matter. If my house is full of goddamn mold from top to ceiling, it's still mine. It's still mine.
Yep.
When people came back for their property, a lot of them were shot on sight. But you was welcome in across. They had buses waiting for you. Reception crews outside waiting for you when you got off the goddamn bus. That's right, Sister Brooke. Our tax dollars. Our tax dollars. So when we say we built a way for you, we did. By number and deed, we did. So that's why, I always say, yeah, Sister Ruba said she fed up. She fed up. The more you vote, the worse our condition gets. And now you got people like Ilhan Omar, that snag-a-tooth weasel. She is. Anytime you bed your own brother, something is wrong with you. Listen. She was a refugee. And you coming here and you telling us what we need? Listen, you have no standing, ma'am. Go fix Somalia. You're a freeloader. Your job is, listen, the reason why you are a member of Congress today is because we went through some shit so you can get a job with your bubble head. Now you got Espy a lot. He identifies as an Afro-Latino. What the hell has he done for FBA? I'll wait. Yes, sir. I bought receipts. And I got plenty more. Plenty more. Because listen, that's why I can't be on these platforms, because I will destroy everybody. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. I was telling Sister Brooke, I got an appointment for the Morgan Library and Museum, the archive, because certain things you have to, a lot of things they provide online. Let me just be frank. A lot of things they provide for you online. You just have to go through it and know exactly what you're looking for. Not a roundabout, but exactly what you're looking for. And so I booked an appointment because there were some letters, or there are, some letters or correspondence between J.P. Morgan's father and uncle and African slave merchants. And in those letters, they were talking about lowering the price because they already had blacks here who they wanted to enslave. Now, I find it very funny, Tad. brothers Black and Sister Marcia, that a lot of Black folks, especially the Pan-Africanists, if it comes from a white source, is skeptical unless it falls in line with your ideology.
Yep.
That means you are a cultist and addicted to feel-good history. History is what it is. Period. Now, Professor David Eltis, I believe that's his name. He did some research on slave voyages, and there was a conversation that he had with Henry Louis Gates and some other folks talking about the numbers actually that were brought over here. And I got a copy of all of that. We're going to get into all. I got y'all tonight. We're going to get into all of that. But I want to show you something. Let me see if I can pull this up. Because we are talking about Hurricane Katrina, and I want y'all to see what some of the witness accounts were. Okay? So let's get into this. We're going to play this for a minute, and we're going to come right back, and we'll discuss. All right? So here we go, family. Let's listen.
We got disappointed by every branch of government that exists.
Thank you very much, Ms. Thompson.
Yes, I know for a fact it was a race issue. Because you see, I live in one of the housing developments in New Orleans. And trust me, nothing happens anywhere like it happens in the project. You know, we are secluded. I mean, not secluded, but we are all, you put a bunch of us in an area together. Oh, we know where they are. You understand? We were told to leave, go to the interstate, go to the Superdome, go to the convention center. When we stepped outside, guns were pointed on us. I felt like we were being told to go outside in order to be killed. No one's going to tell me it wasn't a race issue. Yes, it was an issue of race, because they knew one thing. When the city had pretty much been evacuated, the people that were left there mostly was Black.
Can I ask a question? Then was that city, state, and federal? Do you fault all the levels of government?
I fault everybody. Anytime, excuse me, my 5-year-old grandbaby is sitting on the ground with her hands in the air with a beam pointed between her eyes saying, Mommy, am I doing it right? Because I'm scared they're going to shoot me. 5 years old, my grandbaby's going to be traumatized.
Right. Was it National Guard or local police, or was it both?
We was treated bad by everybody. I think this was National Guard. I'm not sure, you know, but we didn't get, and I lived across the street from a police substation. I have till yet. For anybody to knock on my door and ask, could they do anything to help?
Ms. Thompson, let me also ask, you noted in your testimony that your daughter ended up going to jail through this. You want to give us what did they charge her with at that?
They charged her with, curfew violation. But how we got to New Orleans at 4:30 in the morning. You understand what I'm saying? We couldn't do anything then. We had 5 rooms of furniture to move, and it was 4 females.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Hodges.
I'm sure that race has everything to do with it, as race always has everything to do with the treatment of people of color in America. The fish were evacuated and the people were left to die. The stray animals from the animal shelter, most of whom would have been euphemized, were evacuated 2 days before the storm, and the people were left to die. Buses that could have gotten out people who otherwise could not get out were left to flood, and people were left to die. The military, which has the great capability of moving entire cities, failed to move in and move out the people the way the dogs and the fish had been moved out, and people were left to die, mostly poor, mostly people of color. Race had everything to do with the ethnic cleansing and the massacre of predominantly African-American people being blamed on Hurricane Katrina.
And Ms. Hodges, you fault the state and the local and the federal, all levels?
I fault the President of the United States of America, George W. Bush. I fault Kathleen Babineau Blanco, the governor of the state of Louisiana. I fault Ray C. Nagin, the mayor of the city of New Orleans, all of whom have accepted full responsibility for what has happened to us. And we're still living with the aftermath. We're still suffering post-traumatic stress syndrome. We're reliving this in nightmares, sometimes to a night, night after night after night. And we're still crying day after day.
And let me, my time's up. So I just know, Ms. Thompson, you give us a list of some people that you had mentioned in your testimony. We're going to try to get on that.
Yes, sir. And I truly thank you because, and I'm going to make this very brief. When I got to New Orleans on Thursday morning, I was locked out of my house. I went to a friend's house. In this place, I worked with the place called Kingsley House before the storm. I was a career development specialist. There was a lot of people that I helped to get resources to pay bills, helped to get jobs and stuff. And when I got to New Orleans and couldn't get in, I went to a friend's house that lived around these people. When I got there, she had an air mattress on the floor. That's where I slept. When I woke up the next morning, I was encircled in people, helpless, hopeless people who were like, Pat, what do we do? These people didn't realize that I hadn't come back to New Orleans to stay. They thought it was something that I could do to help. But like I told them all, I'm going to Washington. I'll bring it to Washington.
Thank you very much. Ms. McKinney?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Many things have been said here this afternoon that I think deserve further explication on the record. And we're not going to be able to do that because of the constriction of time. However, I do have some testimony from people who are not here that I would like to submit for the record.
Well, is there objection? If not, we'll be happy to enter that into the record.
Thank you, and we will have more testimony as well to submit for the record. I just want to note that some from the collective testimony, some things do stick out. One of the items mentioned was weapons confiscation. And at some point, I don't know how or when this committee ought to address that, but I don't think the Second Amendment was lifted just because we were in a catastrophic situation that there should have been weapons confiscation. So at any rate, I'd like to discuss that later on, but just to put it on.
We'll have the mayor here next week too, who can talk about that.
Beautiful. The other issue that was raised, I think, was the order of the breaching of the levees and how it came to be that some parts of town flooded and other parts of town didn't flood. And I think that, in fact,
Chairman,
Sister, I didn't leave.
I apologize. Did you say there was an order that the levees be breached?
no, I said the order in which the levees were breached. Not that there was an order, but the order. The
Can you define that word for me, please, baby? What does breach mean? Bombed? I was on my front porch. I had witnesses that they bombed the walls of the levee. And the debris that's in front of my door will testify to that. So what do we mean breach? We saying?
Well, there's a headline in the Times-Picayune dated actually today, November 8th. Oh, no, November 8th. Okay. FOTI scrutinizing levee failures. So my question that I hope we will have the opportunity to explore in a little bit more in depth is the how the levees failed, the order in which the city began to flood, and if that has anything to do with anything. But I think it's something that
it does. What it did was close every Black institution of higher learning, the flooding.
We also had the opportunity to view New Orleans. You're absolutely right on that. And that's another issue that at some point needs to be addressed within the time constraints. The issue of the mold and the sludge. Someone mentioned, I think it was you, Mama D, mentioned the fish. I don't know how safe it is. When we went there, I saw something everywhere, over everything. And I wouldn't want to touch that stuff. And so I don't know how safe the environment is. We need to know that. I've introduced legislation about that. But the presence of the mold and the sludge and the process of the cleanup and the thoroughness of the cleanup and the confidence that we can have in the cleanup is something that needs to be addressed.
Ms. McKinney, let me just note, we will do a separate interrogation on the walls, the breach, and if Mama D has information on anything, we'll be happy to get that information as a part of that hearing. That's not the subject.
I also have information.
We'd be happy to get that.
I have
before you leave
interviewed
today.
witnesses, and I have videotape footage.
But we'd be happy to get that before you leave today, and we'll hold a separate hearing on the history, the funding, and everything with the levies.
Excellent. Thank you.
I have footage also, but I couldn't bring it with me. I could mail it maybe back.
Well, if you have it, we'll get it. Thank you
Okay.
very
I'll
much.
send mine back also.
The panelists have mentioned eviction notices, and we've got on the second panel some attorneys but I want to put a marker down on the eviction notices because I'd like to know more about that.
I don't mean to disrupt you, but I really need that answered. I got them at my house now. Just thank God some neighbors have allowed us to use their spaces. I got a young sister, Weenie, her real name is Winona, with 2 little boys at my house now. I got several people like that. It may be more now. We've just had, where do we put these people? She had a HUD voucher. So why is she homeless?
The other issue another issue that has come up is the outpouring of support by faith-based organizations not listed at the Department of Homeland Security or with FEMA, but who are still doing yeoman's work on behalf of the Katrina survivors. Now, I've asked that question before. I asked the question of our Secretary Chertoff, didn't get any answer. But I would like to know about reimbursements for our faith-based organizations that continue to help the Katrina survivors, as well as for the families who are housing Katrina survivors. It's very difficult to get information out of the FEMA people. The other issue that didn't come up yet, but that will come up, is on contracts. Because as many people here have said, I think the Congress has been very generous in allotting $62 billion thus far. People have talked about $200 billion, but I'd like to see, well, so far it's been Blackwater and Fluor and Bechtel and Halliburton, but it hasn't been the companies inside Louisiana, New Orleans, Mississippi.
So wait a minute. They get eviction notices. Corporations get billions. The people got nothing. Compare now. Migrants right off the rip, taken care of. There are no studies. Yeah, corporations are also making money, giving money to or services to migrants. But these people got nothing. Nothing.
And Alabama, or for that matter, even companies that have the expertise and the wherewithal in 4th Congressional District. So I would like the issue of contracts to be addressed, even though I posed the question to the secretary and I didn't get a response from him as well.
Okay, thank you, Ms. McKinney.
Mr. Chairman, will we be allowed a second round of questions?
We'll see how quickly this goes. We have a second panel, as you know, we need to get through by 4.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Shays.
Thank you. I'm struck by many emotions right now. One of them is
let me pause that there because I'm really getting a little upset because it just bothers me. It bothers me that all we ever offered is lip service and studies when other folks get tangibles. But we're the ones who are holding up the systems that are making it so. That's why I keep telling y'all, get out of these goddamn parties. Re-register as independent non-party affiliates. Let's break the charter. because it's easy. Let me tell you how. See, people don't understand how we move, Brother Tad. I'm gonna give them a little quick lesson in 2 seconds. You have Black people who are holding up a system that does not hold them up. You have Black people in America who decide to delineate ourselves. And in delineating ourselves, small boycotts have come up out of that with merchants who haven't been treating us fairly, in particular African braid shops. So people came back, Brother Tad, and said, well, why would you boycott African braiding shops? If you know that it's somebody that's pushing them a foot, why don't you go at them? We've been going at white supremacists. And let me be frank with your blind asses. Yeah, we boycotting them, but we killing two birds with one stone. You see, the Asians control the hair market. They too lose money in business. But you don't get that perspective because you don't know what this fight is about, nor have you ever. You came here to join us. That's what Garvey did. He came here to join us because he couldn't get it popping over there. You can't. Some people, Brother Tad, they hold on to old history. Yep. And it's still good history, and I get it. I get it. That's where I was. And when I started researching more, I told y'all I'm super nosy. When I started researching more, I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is wrong. This isn't right. The more I dug, because unfortunately, family, you can't get everything in books. You got to go into these archives. You got to read letters. You got to read notices. You got to read different correspondence.
Talk to the people that were there.
Exactly. And when I started to do that, Brother Tad, I'm like, wait a minute. You know, before this whole renaissance started, I've been pivoting. Me and Tad been pivoting. This ain't right here. Something's wrong. This history is inaccurate here. This is something wrong. So I want y'all to forever remember as you enter into a lot of these spaces, when they talk about, you know, pulling themselves up and nobody gave them nothing, and you all had everything handed to you and you did nothing with it. Do you know? Listen, my grandmother used to say, you got to have some couth about yourself, right? I would never go to another country and impose my political ideology on that country or that nation. Black Americans have no record of doing that whatsoever anywhere on the planet. We are the only group who do not have that record. Everybody else does. Show me anywhere on the planet where Black Americans have removed themselves from the U.S., live in another country, and they have an African American Day parade. I'll wait. You change the very fabric when you impose yourself. You came to these urban enclaves because you like what you saw. You said, I can build a life for my family here. I can do well for myself here. There's nothing wrong with that. But you got to tell the truth. Because when you came, you imposed. And then you try to rinse away what was already there. See, you have communities like Little Italy that Black people once lived at. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of people every day go through Central Park. That was once Seneca Village. You never even resonate that you were part of this ethnic cleansing. And then you wonder why turmoil is happening in your own homelands. The ancestors made it so. You got to look at the whole picture. Urban removal. What's happening right now? So come on now. I'm going to get off my soapbox. My brothers and sister on the panel, your thoughts about what happened with Hurricane Katrina and how the people were treated.
I think I'll take it because I was the first one. Real talk. I was stationed at one time in Mobile, Alabama, when I was a merchant seaman. We were in dry dock, so meaning the ship is going to be in the shop for a minute. So I was there, and every weekend, dudes, by virtue of the fact that I had a relative who lived there for a time, I've been there numerous times as a young dude, and then like I said, as a grown man. And every time people invited me over there, because I knew the layout, how the city looked, because I've been there so many times, I couldn't go because it was right after. It was maybe 2007 or 8. So not long after, people were like, if you know the place and you love it, because I've been there a whole bunch of times and I know people there. And it's like, nah, I don't want to go. I could not make myself go there. One of the ugliest situations ever for us writ large in the United States of America. It was compared to a third world country like it happened in Jamaica or Ghana. You mostly seeing Black people. And man, that was like one of the saddest points in nature. At that time, I was living uptown, and a lot of the people was living around me under emergency circumstances because they had people in New York. They like put me on the bus to New York. My son went to Houston. My granddaughter went to Miami. Eventually, you had to. So I was around that too. And matter of fact, I was doing work with helping load trucks that were going down there. And one of the brothers came down there with me because it was for his people. He was a real cool dude too. But anyway, with that said, just one of the ugliest. I believe the Alabama beatdown was the makeup for that, but that was a small thing compared to a giant. To just right before I finish, I just want to say how notable it is that we had this show like Marcia's father's situation, how Chattanooga got rained out earlier today, and it looked like any of the recent big storms that we had in New York, Chicago, Wisconsin last week, Milwaukee, and here we go. So with that, I yield back to the panel.
Thank you for that, Brother
Sister
Black.
Marcia.
So it's just, I remember this time. I was glued to the TV and I wanted to, like a lot of disasters that happen across the world, I want to serve in any which way I can. And I think it was through this, watching our people on top of roofs, yelling for help, watching helicopters go by. And mind you, I have not seen this documentary yet, but I recall the helicopters going by and the people screaming, help me, take the baby, do this, do that. Breaking my heart. And I think that's one of the reasons why I joined organizations at that time, right? I literally and consciously said, I'm joining Black organizations to do things for Black people because Black people need me and I can help Black people. I think my best moment was on MTV when Kanye said, George Bush hates Black people. And I don't remember his name, but he looked at him like,
Mike Myers.
Thank you.
Michael Myers and not Eddie Griffin, Chris
I
Tucker.
don't know. Thank you for all the names. But
Chris Tucker.
Again, as I said, thank you for all the names. But they just look like, what do we do? And this is one of the times that I knew that Kanye was really about the people. And because I already enjoyed his albums, like that was something that I was playing in the office, like, a college dropout. That was like my favorite album, right? At that particular time. And I was like, yeah. And I went back into the office, and I used to work for events management at that time. And this white woman, Linda was her name, Linda, she hated me. And I was like, yeah, say something. Because I know you white people hate black people. I caused war in the office off of that event. But it was an awakening moment. I really took time to think about beyond myself and have conversations with my family about thinking beyond myself, because my grandmother was a very selfless woman. There are things that she did in her life that I may not agree with. And then there are other things in her life that I'm like, damn, look at all the care that you gave to the world, you know? And so if I could give the world back this much from my grandmother's heart, then I'm going to do that. But I'm not going to get exploited at the same time. But with all of that said, Katrina was a really heartbreaking moment for Black people, and for Black people not to really unite and really come together and forge opportunities for one another is really, really sad. And another quick moment is when I went to Houston, and all the people that were telling me, yeah, I left from Katrina. And I'm like, what? You know, and it was just a few years later, maybe 4 years later. And they're like, yeah, I was in New Orleans at the time. And, you know, I never went back. I lost my home. They gave me half the price for my home. And I got something in Houston. So, you know, just thinking about that type of devastation and that loss of history and knowledge that these people have lost. You know, simple things like when we are all going to archives to research our family lineage, these people lost precious items like photos and little moments that can really solidify the family and have the next generation understand who their family is. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that right now without breaking down. Brother Tad.
Nah, I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember in 2003, I met a brother from New Orleans named Mike when I was in North Carolina. And he was just giving me a brief history of New Orleans, talking about why they buried the deceased above ground. He said, because, you know, he spoke of a flood years ago and how the caskets floated. So they buried them above ground in mausoleums because parts of New Orleans, the wards sits below sea level. In 2007, 2008, like Black, I had an opportunity to go visit New Orleans. That was my first time. I think I've been to New Orleans 3 or 4 times. And yeah, right after about 2007, 2008, the wards still weren't fixed. You know, I drove through there briefly. You could just feel the despair. It was almost like Detroit. You know, I don't know how many people really been to Detroit, but Detroit really looks like an abandoned town. I haven't been to Detroit in a few years, so I'm not sure if they developed it. But of course, the French Quarter was still beautiful. Took a horse and carriage ride through the French Quarter. Real nice, sunny. And it's just, again, the tale of two cities. But as Black folks, we're not unfamiliar with these stories. And this is why where we are right now is such a pivotal time, because as much as we learn from the past, I always say we making history every day. As Sister Keisha said at the top of the show, we always are making history. So right now, as we delineate, these are reasons we should convince our folks to divorce these parties, and we create a new party. And we work together with other groups that are creating independent parties that are working in the interest of the people. Because sure enough, as we see Dr. Sukiyana go down, I always say, only way a person can get in power is if the people put them in power. But the people are putting the wrong people in power because the people don't have the right information. Once we start agitating the consciousness of the people, getting people to divorce the rhetoric, getting them to divorce identity politics, and work in their interests. What is in your interest when you vote? What do you get when you vote? These people only respect votes and dollars and votes. You know, Dr. Claude Anderson, I'll never forget when he broke down and cried and said, you Black people just don't get it. They're trying to make you a permanent underclass. And everything he said is coming to fruition. I'm thankful that he's still amongst us to give guidance, to give his wisdom on the direction we should go. Because we know, I mean, we doing it right now. Many of us are delineating. We saying, yo, we FBA. We ain't kicking no Africans in the back unless they want to get kicked in the back. We ain't kicking no Caribbeans in the back unless you want to get kicked in the back. Because they keep saying we don't have a culture. But one thing I know about Black Americans, our culture has always been steeped in violence and resilience. We are natural born fighters. I'll tell anybody. During our enslavement, it wasn't white folks' benevolence that set us free. It was the fact that we resisted and continue to resist. This conversation is resistance. Just for what we do, people showing up, popping up in the chat. This is resistance. So we look at Hurricane Katrina as a reminder of who cares about us. We only have each other. You know, I see the talks of Bush sending the military out in DC. This is unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. And I'm about to land my plane.
Trump.
It's unfortunate.
Trump.
However,
Oh, you got him stuck on Bush.
I know. It's Trump, brother.
I said Bush, Trump,
Yes.
yeah. Same cracker. Right? But my point.
Go ahead.
My point is that if we stay proactive, we won't need external forces to regulate what we should already have in check. And this is an indictment on where our priorities are, because look, we're always having profound conversations about what's relevant and not just talking about the problem. We're giving concrete solutions of what people can do right now, today. You don't have to wait on no Messiah. You don't have to donate to our cause. You don't have to give no money to an imaginary school. We're telling you what you can do today to empower yourselves. But our people just got their nose somewhere else. And it's up to us, those of us on the panel, those of us in the chat, those on the playback, to constantly agitate the people's mind, because God forbid there's another disaster. We can't depend on the same people, especially when they playing in our face, showing you that they got money for migrants. This is something Dr. King talked about. Migrants coming here, getting money, getting money for machines, getting land grants. Meanwhile, our folks, not only are they being starved and deleted, they're being robbed of their property. And everybody know in America, the foundation of wealth building is at least own where you live. Turn your house into an asset and not a liability. You know, but I'm going to leave it right there right now. I just want our people to be empowered, stop being so naive, listening to fake leaders, whether it's a cultural leader or a goddamn politician. Damn them all. Listen to your higher consciousness. And I'm off my soapbox. Sister Keisha.
Can I say something real quick, sis, please? Real quick. It's amazing, Brother Tad in particular, and to the panel and to those listening, that like how we talk now, and people who probably a little older than us, you know, a little knowledge, or a little younger than us, listen to us, and we making it sound like contemporary. Like when you know, I see my growth in when Dr. Anderson said those things, and you know, some of the elders who some still here, some not, was saying those things back then. That's how we let me speak for myself. That's how I looked at them, like, nah, that ain't gonna happen. I don't see that. Like brothers selling us that dudes is gonna be wearing dresses soon, like regularly, right. You know, that kind of thing. And I'm like, I don't see that. Like, you know, because the image of rappers and tough guys was, you know, from the hood with a, you know, a white beater, you know, tatted up and all that, bald head, dreads, whatever you got. And now dudes is like, it's cool to be feminine in that game, especially. So with that said, I just wanted to show the, you know, piggyback off your comment. Sister Keisha, back to you.
All right. You know, when people quote Dr. Clark, especially as it relates to this FBA movement. Thank you, Brother Tory, for the Cash App. Appreciate that. But, people, when we say we catch the brunt of everything, we do. We do. So, this came across my timeline, and I thought it'd be fitting that we play what Dr. Clark said. And I know before y'all start, he refers to us all as Africans. Because remember, Dr. Ben, historians, researchers, they took us to where they could take us. History didn't stop with what they provided us with.
That's right.
It continued. And that's the problem, Brother Tad. People stop right there. Dr. Clark, Dr. Ben said so-and-so. Dr. Clark, Dr. Ben said so-and-so. Come on now, family. They provided us with information. You ain't supposed to sit there and leave it at that. It's not how it works. So I want to play this, and now I have another clip that Brother Tad sent me earlier with Dr. Jack Felder. And we're going to discuss some things. Let's go.
Is the most misunderstood, most American, is the most misunderstood, most abused, most wounded of all the African people who live outside of Africa. And yet, he is the target for destruction by more forces than any other African people. He's the one African that the Western world won't destroy, principally because he has grown insensitive to his oppressor, and he, more than any other Africans, have fought in larger numbers for his oppressor and mastered his oppressor's modern war technique. He's also the most dangerous African on the face of the earth, because he is the only African on the face of the earth trained in the modern warfare technique called combined operations. Combined operations is the art of striking a target land, air, and sea. No other Africans on the face of the earth have enough training to move on a target with ships, airplanes, and infantry. And the Black American has been trained to do all three. He's American.
What'd he say? I'm having camera issues, but y'all hear me. What did he say? So again, people forget certain things, Brother Tan. They only remember a certain amount of things Dr. Clark said, but you forgot this part, huh? He said the same thing Garvey said.
Yeah, but you know what it is, sis? It's that African supremacy that the Pan-Africans are programmed to practice. That's why I say, I don't subscribe to the rhetoric. Because sure enough, as we talk about being Africanized to a degree, I always say, then what's Dr. Clark's African name? Dr. Clark still ate pork. Dr. Clark was a Christian. Is he a coon? See, the rhetoric. Anybody else who don't change their name, anybody else who still eat pork or believe in Jesus, they coons, right? But not Dr. Clark. He can.
But don't they?
And not saying that he. Go ahead, Sister Marcia.
I'm sorry. Question was, don't they eat pork and are Christian on the continent?
Of course. But that's just because they don't know no better.
Oh.
So the script goes. So the script goes. But again, for so many people who are, and again, this is not a knock on Pan African, because I realize some people ain't there yet. And this is what our job is, to agitate the consciousness and wake them up. Say, nah, we got new information from sightings of the master teachers, whether it's Dr. Clark or whether it's Dr. Clark or Marcus Garvey, whether it's science that we're genetically different, whether, as Sister Keisha says, the archives, the notes, the newspapers, the political writings of the day. See, a lot of these dudes is just rhetoric, and that's what I've learned all of my years in the movement. Dudes to say, yo, Africa, 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 but ain't been to Africa. People keep talking about oppression and plantation. I'm like, yo, you realize there's no place on this planet we can't go. And then when you read the writings of Harriet Tubman, the Moses of Our People, or you read of Frederick Douglass, they all talk about they never felt like they were slaves. See, enslavement is in the mind. It's this victimhood mentality that we always getting beat up. Everybody go through challenges. I never met a person that didn't have a challenge. Never seen a group of people that didn't have challenges. People think and Sister Keisha, and I'm gonna get off my soapbox, but the one thing that killed me about what's going on right now is people always want to equate our history with slavery as if that's where it started. No, we know slavery interrupted our story, but we were here prior to slavery. But if we're gonna start at slavery, then that's the same shit white people said. That we was just
I wanna pull this up. Sorry.
Pull it up, sis.
Sister Veronica. Shout out to Sister Veronica. She said, if a kitten is born in the oven, doesn't make it biscuits. Dr. Ben, they came before Columbus. I think you meant Sertima. But anyway, I'm still loving afros from the cradle to the grave. I'm still learning. I'm a Garvey, but what does that mean? What does it mean? If Garvey was a follower of Booker T, then what makes that? I don't understand. See, that's the thing. People just say things. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means at all. So when you see me, then you tell me what that means, because I see her. So,
and I'm going to say this. It's all right to be a Garvey. As you confess, you're still learning. And that's what we're here for, to present the evidence. I don't know if you saw the show where we cited Garvey. Garvey said that the American Negro is the peer of all Africans around the world. Everybody should be following us. But then if we're gonna cite Dr. Clark or Ivan Van Sertima or Dr. David Imhotep, we gotta acknowledge that Black people were here prior to Europeans coming. But if Black people were here, what does that mean? They were not where? In Africa. Why did they leave Africa? And when they came to these territories, did they still identify as Africans? So let's say Africa is the cradle of civilization and all life comes from Africa, right? When do Chinese stop being African? When do Japanese stop being Africans? Because we know the first Chinese and Japanese were African people. So are they still Africans? Are they our brothers and sisters? Are Europeans are Africans? I mean, and I'm not talking about this Charlize Theron and the Elon Musk. I'm talking about if we're saying that everybody came from Africa, that means that all humanity is African by this logic. Not saying that I agree with it, because again, it's an out of Africa theory. But if that's the case, then are Chinese still Africans? And if they're not African people, when did they stop?
Well,
then the question gets applied to Black people in the U.S. When we left Africa, when did we stop being Africans?
Facts.
When labels were placed on us.
I'm sorry.
Sister Marcia said when labels were placed on us, right? Am I getting it right?
Yeah, that perhaps, because.
Right. But now let's practice Kuji Chakalia real quick. Let's practice Kuji Chakalia, self-determination. How can an outsider label us when we should be practicing self-determination? We label ourselves.
We stopped
Because
labeling ourselves. We fell into a system for over how many years where we allowed them to label ourselves. I'm totally in agreement of removing yourself from the system and relabeling and redefining yourself as in self-determination.
Delineating.
Perfect
That's
word.
it.
Thank
That's
you.
it.
But we know what we know, and we have to get the masses to understand what we understand now.
Yeah. But that's what we're doing right now. We're making history. We're teaching. Look, people thought we was crazy when we was with Straight Black Pride and we was talking about the sexual assault on young people, how they're trying to turn the world gay. Everybody really thought we was bugging. But now look, what is everybody talking about? Essays, defending. Look, people are pulling them rainbow flags down. Why? Because we did that. We agitated it. We made it cool. And it ain't about getting props and kudos. You can let everybody have it. I remember when Wesley Muhammad was against it, but then he wrote a book about it.
Yes.
Come on.
I had to laugh. Oh Lord. Between that and Doggy Diamonds, they've been having me laughing all week. And this is not good. Speaking of which, we're gonna shoot over to Doggy Diamonds as soon as we're done here on Thorough Black Talk.
A little laughter is good for the soul, sis.
Look, we always look. We doing a lot of laughing because you know why? When we run around in perpetual anger, that's what the enemy wants. They don't want you to enjoy this life. They want you to suffer. They put it in their religion. They do it in the politics. They sell you fear factors, fear factors. Like everything they do, they don't want you to operate in your natural self, because when you're happy, your vibration is elevated. When your vibration is elevated, you start seeing things clearly and you start operating in your natural state. And then they can't have the power over you because you're not giving them the power. But as long as you're depressed and beat down and victimized, victims look at the quote unquote oppressor as stronger than them. That's how you can oppress them. I just look at people as ops and challenges. That's it. Ain't nobody pressing me no more. I got to acquiesce. I got to submit to their will for them to oppress me. No, you come to me with a conflict, I'm giving you that same energy right back. And we handle it like that. But see,
I put in the chat a link to archives of various accounts for Hurricane Katrina that you all can look videos after videos if you want, for your own research purposes. That is in the chat. So, Brother Taz sent this, I think yesterday or today.
Yeah,
yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. A conversation on 125th with Brother Reggie Sarnetta and Dr. Jack Felder. And Dr. Jack Felder talks about Black people all over the world, excluding Africa right now.
Yeah.
Because I know all life form, or at least that's what research tells us so far.
Because we're finding old DNA from the U.S. No, sis?
Yes. The Albert Perry theory, the A00 gene, for my brothers, the male chromosome, more than 300,000 years old, and had no link. It dropped off from Africa thousands of years. It had already dropped off that link because of breeding, because of mixing. We went beyond. We moved. We went beyond. That's it.
This is science.
And that's what I'm saying. We get caught in, listen, family.
New science, though.
You know, when I was in class with Kaba, he used to say the interruption was, like our last thing is Homo sapien, but we could have been Homo sapien sapiens. But because of the interruption and because of our lack of understanding, we remain as sapien, but we can transform into sapiens or something even greater.
That's right. And that's what we're doing at this moment. This is exactly what we're doing. These conversations, the way we move, the way we behave, the way we change our thought pattern. As Brother Black said, we about to move into the fifth dimension. I laugh and I joke and I tease my brother, but I'm dead ass. Like, I'm really with him on that. Because we can be stuck in particular paradigms of thinking. That's what's happening with our YNs. They got the wrong information, so they operating on the wrong frequency.
Not YNs.
Why? Look, LNs then. Because until they rise to a God, ain't that what I kill, Ro, from niggas?
Listen, I don't disagree about the rising, but our vibration to them, helps them rise. And if we call them that, they will not see us in the light of rising. It is how we speak.
I'm gonna stop you right here. Let sisters get it. You know why? Because then we're not being honest with them. If we're acting like they're operating on our frequency, why should they rise? What are they rising to? If where they are, we're not. No, hold up. You can't say a first grader is in the same grade as a sixth grader, even though they're in the same school. Well, I'm gonna acknowledge you a little dude. We don't go to lunch at the same period. You in first grade. You in Miss Banks' class. I'm in Mr. Deb's class. We not the same. But when I start treating you like you the same, and this is the problem, Sister Marcia, and this is not at you per se, right? But this is the problem. People letting their children think they're on their level. That's why they think they grown and they don't have to respect nobody. What's the first thing they say? You ain't gotta respect me. You gotta respect me. No. First, you got to know your place in the world. And this is the problem. We're not putting them in a place.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
But I'm saying one of the parts, and I'm gonna pass you the mic back. But if you ever watched the movie New Jersey Drive, all them car thieves thought they was tough and bad, right? Remember that? Until they went on Heavy D Block and he barked on all of them. So y'all don't bring that shit over here. I'm gonna bounce your head. He barked on them. See, you never been a YN. You're not raised in that element. You're not in the frequency. Look at these grades. I earned these. That's why I don't die them. But I was out there with that mentality. Lost a lot of brothers out there. And if nobody gonna keep it real with them, if you keep talking that's why that shit never worked when we was coming up. Everybody was trying to coddle us. Come on, young king. Come on, young. You gotta tell them you gotta work to be a king. You gotta work to be a god. As long as you act like a nigga, I'm gonna call you a nigga.
I'm not saying that.
No,
listen. Let me make my point.
That's not you.
I'm not, but this is me for right now. This is me. All I'm saying is, if you want someone to elevate, right? You can't call them something, and I'm not saying to call them young kings. That's not what I'm saying. If they're not in training, then they can't be called that. But you don't need to call them by what society is calling them.
Society don't call them that.
Everyone is saying YN right now. You go everywhere. Everyone is saying that.
You know what? Hold up, Sister Marcia. You're not in the streets. Stay on the sidewalk. You're talking to the OG of OG wisdom now. I used to call them YGs. They call themselves YNs. Okay? This is, let me say this, because this is almost like the Pan-African shit. People are not dealing in reality, dealing with rhetoric. I get it. We not gonna call them YNs. We not gonna call them niggas. I get it. We not. But what do they call themselves? The little girls call each other bro and say SMD. Right or wrong? I never told a girl she got one. So if you're not dealing with people where they are, you're not gonna get them where they need to be. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying encourage the behavior, but I'm saying acknowledge where they are. Stop. I'm telling you, when I was 16, 17 out here wilding, this is why people couldn't get through to us, because there was no authenticity. They didn't speak to us where we were. I'm telling you.
When you met Khalid, did he call you what did he call you?
When I met Dr. Khalid, he said young brother. But when I met Dr. Khalid, I had a 9mm on my waist and my hoodie on with an army fatigue.
That's great.
No, it's not great.
No, because he is acknowledging. So what I'm saying is, he is acknowledging your potential.
Yes. That's
what I'm saying. Acknowledge potential. I'm not saying to call them young kings or all of that. All I'm saying is acknowledge the possibility.
I hear what you're saying. No, I'm not negating that. I'm not negating that, because I just call him little bro or young bro. When I talk to little dudes I don't know, I be like, yo, little bro, yo, young bro. When I'm on the train, because I'm one of the few men that ain't scared of them. So when they acting wild and I gotta pull them to the side, like whether they smoking weed or fighting on the train, I get in the mix of that. I literally do. Why everybody else sit around scared? Oh, these young kings, these. No. And this is not a knock to you, sis. I'm just saying, from somebody who been there and realized how fortunate I am to have survived. When I was on Doggie's show the other night, we talked about, yo, Doggie been stabbed, I've been shot. Some of our home, there's nobody in my crew ain't been shot. My brother been shot in the head, he's still alive. My god brother, Black, sister Ruba, tell you, it was right up the block from her, got shot in the back. Him and my brother was together. They was teenagers, they was kids, 16 and 17. Like, nobody in my crew was not touched by this violence. And what I'm saying is that young dudes is out there because nobody's keeping it real with them. And I'm not saying encourage the behavior. I'm not saying that. But everybody think they know the psychology of where the young people are. And you don't. Not you per se, but I know you don't either. Because if you're not from that walk of life, it's like I could condemn the Pan-Africans all I want because I've walked it. I've sat with the master teachers. I came in with Dr. Khalid, been to Africa 4 times, sponsored a school, fed kids, did everything, did food programs in Bed-Stuy, a youth group here in Brooklyn. Like, I've done what I was supposed to do, and I see that there's not a level of sincerity. It's all rhetoric. People just talking, which sounds good, but it's not effective. That's why we don't get the results. That's why Umar School is being sold off, because people are not authentic. Nobody cares whether I call him an YN or a young king. Nobody, they don't care. If your message don't resonate with them, they not listening to you.
I'm not in disagreement.
I'm sorry. Let me get off my soapbox.
All I'm saying is,
for real.
Let's look at potential of the young people.
We all got potential. I ain't talking about potential. Everybody got potential. That's
exactly. So we look at the potential, but in terms of the school was never going to happen. At some point, we just.
I would disagree with you, Ghost. I would definitely disagree, because I know the YNs that they call each other YNs. I call them YGs, young gunners, young hitters. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. The N-word. I used to try to escape it from my lexicon, but you know what? With certain behaviors, we got to call it what it is, man. And that's our problem. Look, Dr. Khalid used that word. Dr. Khalid used it. And
but he wouldn't say it to his formation. He'll say it when he's talking to the crowd.
Right. And he would say who was one. And he would call someone. And this is my point. We keep trying to ban the word, but then we want to cite Dr. Clark, Dr. Ben. And if they use the word, it's like, I don't need nobody to tell me how to live my life. My highest conscience dictates that to me. Not Farrakhan, not Dr. Khalid, not Dr. Ben, not Dr. Sukiyana. I'm my own man. I'm not going to trade in white supremacy for black supremacy. I'm not letting nobody else indoctrinate me with their thoughts. And that's our problem too. We keep waiting on our cues from other people. When me and Sister Keisha pivoted, we didn't have this conversations. Like, the spirit just had us pivot. We found new information and knew we had to operate on that. Not, well, what did such and such say about it? And straight black pride, you know how many people wouldn't say nothing until they figured out what Jeannie wanted to say? Well, what Jeannie got to say about it? What you got to say about it?
Facts.
What you got to say? You don't have to always agree with somebody. Agree with yourself. Agree with, resonate with your spirit. And everybody just keep trying to placate to other people, man. And all me and Sister Keisha been trying to tell people, man, be your own person. Do your research, come up with your own conclusion. Stop trying to be other people. I'm a black dude from Brooklyn. That's it, man.
Period.
Thank you, Torrell. You have to talk to the generation, the language they understand. I say it and they understand, but I add the good in. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. I'm not saying you're wrong, Sister Marcia. I'm not saying nobody in the panel's wrong. I'm just saying we got to open up. You said potential. We all have the potential to be better than what we are right now. I pray that next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we're better than who we are right now at this moment. Everybody got potential. We're not talking about potential. We're talking about authenticity, a paradigm shift. But I'm sorry, Sister Keisha, I didn't mean to hold you up with the video.
It's all right, brother. Go, let it rip. I'm letting y'all go ahead. I'm minding my black business.
All I got to say is they're back at it again.
Listen, don't blame me for your pulpit minute.
Oh,
We
Lord.
Yeah,
listen.
this
You
this
know,
is
and
supposed to
I
be
want
for
to
blacks.
address this
Mr. Marcia, we
because
supposed to have this speak for black.
I wanted to address this because she said we have a tribute to Dr. Clark and Ben each year. I learned we had to share some beautiful memories continuing. We do. I guess you mean we're doing it. You got too many things going on here, Veronica. You're rambling. This is called babbling. But here the thing is.
No, I know what she's saying.
Hold
That's
on.
Canada,
I get it.
the work she's done, but there's no institution.
Facts. And
wait a
Yes,
minute. When they do this tribute, they always forget the women. There are women born in January 1st, December 31st. They always forget the women. You always got to argue with people like, what about the women that were in the movement?
This is what I'm telling you. It's cultish. People don't see it. It's a cultish behavior. It is. I'm sorry, but it is. It's idol worship. I'm not into that. I'm not into that. I love the information. I love their genius and what they left us with. But that ain't it. It ain't. They told you it's not it. I know because I was sitting in the front row. They told you it's not it. But we hold on to things because it makes us feel good. I told you, feel good history could be dangerous. It keeps you stuck. You know, and listen, you go to the events, everybody look like they caught in a time warp. And, you know, in my mind, I just say what my grandmama said, bless your heart. Because you ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. And I got to give also to our young brothers, you got to give credit where credit is due. When it comes to this delineation thing, they on deck. They leading the charge. Listen, y'all got it all wrong. Y'all got it all wrong. They don't. But we're going to move on to these two videos. I got two clips and then we out of here. All right. This first one is what Tad sent me the other day. Conversation on 125th with Dr. Felder, Sonetta, Brother Reggie, and somebody else. Hold on. Let's listen. I'm going to play another clip and we'll come right back and discuss.
Calling it, there were black people, there were Asiatic Indians, and there were different other kind of people.
Were they the same people, the Indians and the blacks?
Well, you know what? You got Asiatic Indians who are not black. You got the black Indians who are black. You hear what I just said?
Yes.
There are some Indians who are black.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay? As far as I know.
So now, let's get past. Let's go. Now, Elder, what Indians are you saying are black specifically? Which Indians?
Yes.
What is their ethnic tribe?
The tribe is Mississippian.
No, Mississippi. Yeah.
So the tribe of Indians who had a large citizen and one of the biggest in the America.
So you say now their DNA is close to the African continental DNA? Is that what you're saying? If you're saying that those group of Indians, their DNA is close to the DNA of the continental Africans that came over on the slave trade? That's what you're saying?
Let me tell you something, man. The first people in the world on the planet were black. They were all over the world, not just in Africa. And then if you go to China, Japan, the first Japanese, the first Chinese, all were black. No, calling it, they were.
So, do you keep calling them Africans? Knock it off. This is what I'm saying. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all really gotta stop with the foolishness here. It's ridiculous. And it's time to get on code. It really is. And you know, when Star go at it, and Star, you know, he always been a hot one. But when hold on, let me just play it. Hold on. Y'all see the screen? Can you see Star on the screen? All right, here we go.
Yep. See him clearly.
I'm the only person who ever challenged him when he came on the show and I asked him about the word spick. Why don't you use that? He said, oh, no, that's offensive to us. Us.
Talking about Fat Joe.
Well, BET didn't realize, and they don't know how to read the room in today's day and time. There's something going around, a groundswell, a beautiful fucking groundswell called Foundational Black Americans. And the truth is out there. There it is, microphone check. So BET didn't realize that people want the real. The real is not Uncle Fester on stage throwing money, whatever the fuck he was doing. I haven't watched BET since, what was that show back in the days? Uncut. Nobody watched that fucking minstrel show.
Word.
So whatever he's saying, I don't give a shit on his platform. He's a liar. And Jada Kiss, I'll fuck with you heavy, my nigga. But at some point, you're going to have to choose a side. I say that with all due respect. Anyway.
So, you know, let's be clear. Everybody gets it. At least those of us who are from this area of the world. Everybody gets it. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. You better learn how to pivot. And if you don't, you're going to be like Umar. Some of y'all still pushing this mother. Listen. Some of y'all still. I saw
And that's
y'all
the
take
biggest
bus rides, bus loads to go to that empty building for a fashion show. Like, hey, listen.
Shout out
it's
to
a
our folks
goat.
that was. I still love them. I
It's
still
a
love
goat.
And you know what, sis? You know what, sis? All right. This is what it was for me. All right, we African, now what? That's always the thing. Now what?
Mm-hmm.
Now what? Okay. Now what?
Y'all heard about 80,000 in taxes on the school buildings in Wilmington, and the government is about to auction it off, right?
Yeah.
You heard the latest on that? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I knew that forever when he had his mock talent show / block party / cookout / when he got the building, because I knew what it took to open a school. He wasn't going to do it.
When
He
he
didn't want
never
to work with
used,
nobody.
right,
You know,
right. He never
he's
used.
yes, yes.
I was gonna say is that when he never used the building for community. Like you have a whole slew of people and organizations that you could have worked with on the ground, and you refuse to. Oh, we're gonna have a paint party. Oh, the AC. Oh, the this. How many times we went into buildings there was no AC and we had a fun time doing work. So all the excuses come May and July could go to boop, boop. Just do your womp 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 to Umar. And it's really sad, but you know he's gonna pivot, like your favorite word right now, and take it to the continent and say, well, I couldn't do it here. I couldn't do it.
No, that ain't gonna fly, sis, because he got, according to him, he got citizenship in these places. Why they didn't just support him? Because they ain't rocking like that. You see, when you come here, you get benefits and help. We got to bring our resources over there. We got to take our genius over there. You ain't giving nothing. See what I'm saying? And this is the rhetoric that's ridiculous. So long time ago, we knew this wasn't going to work out. But you have people still pushing it. Still, you know, whatever.
They're gonna show up for the rally and the cookouts and the
and Sister Veronica, let me explain this to you because I think you're missing some things. But when it comes to BET and award shows, be glad it's canceled. It's trash. It's been trash for years. But you thought Afro Beats was gonna hold it up, and it flopped. You see, it flopped. Everybody think they got a spin on it. If the base ain't happy, it's gonna flop. And so I'm glad it's done. I'm glad. Certain things have to crash so you can rebuild. It has to be rebuilt. And if we ain't at the forefront, it's a wrap. In this country, it's a wrap. And now, next week, I'm going to show more videos. Because now you got actors, FBA actors are calling out these British actors on their BS.
And they was doing that years ago.
You know, how the hell you going to get a British actor to play Dr. King?
Mm-hmm.
Samuel.
But in Britain, they ain't not going to have no American actor to play one of their leaders.
No.
It just don't work like that. And also,
I don't know British. I'm sorry.
People who say, you know, they don't like the FBA rhetoric and things like that. Again, I've said, excuse me, week after week, that the movement right now is lineage-based reparations. Everything else we don't give two F's about. And we're not getting on team with it at all. It's about lineage-based reparations right now. Every week, I tell y'all how people from the diaspora show up to these hearings and advocate against lineage-based reparations or try to grandfather themselves onto it. I said Brother Devon reached out to over 50 organizations. How many of y'all from the diaspora who watch this program or watch OG Wisdom have reached out to these organizations asking them why? Have you had conversations with your tribe asking them why they had such venom towards FBAs? When you yourself heard them say, we have no culture, we are less than. How come you didn't check that behavior? You see, like Star said, a line has been drawn in the sand. I've been telling y'all that. A line has been drawn in the sand. There's no if way or that way. It's our way or the goddamn highway. That's what it's going to be here. That's what it's going to be here. So again, we thank y'all for tuning in to Thorough Black Talk every week. We truly appreciate y'all. Next week, we're going to continue this conversation because I got more clips and more videos we got to break down. We got to continue to remember Hurricane Katrina. I have more testimony. And before I go, I have to show y'all something because we're going to get heavy into this because it's time to cut the nonsense. Time to cut the nonsense about these slave voyages. We're going to go with the numbers. Where they went, where they landed, based on whether it was Spain, Portugal, Great Britain, Netherlands, U.S., France, Denmark, and the Baltic. We're going to get into these numbers because new data and research from their ship archives, what ports were available, if they were available. How come we didn't challenge that history? So again, family, we thank y'all for rocking out with us. We truly, truly appreciate y'all, each and every one of y'all. Hit the screen a couple of times so that it changes in your algorithm. Share this platform with those you love. Share this platform with those you despise. Use this platform as an argument if you wish. And anybody you find who doubts what we're saying, tell them to come on board. Tell them to come on board.
So we even up for debate.
It ain't. We got to get out of here. We ran out of time. It's time to get up. We're going to shoot over to Doggy Diamonds TV. Good night, y'all. We are out.
On the Brooklyn Bridge tonight, voices strong, knowledge tight. Thorough black talk in the air, changing minds, changing flair. From brother Tad to sister K, warriors got things to say. Sister Marcy brings the heat, brother Blacksmith keeps the beat. Revolutionary waves, they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral light. Thursday nights the world will see Black Power media on a spree. Facebook, YouTube all aligned, breaking free from every bind. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves, they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral light. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary ways.